Good morning and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. My name is Michelle Corbet and I am this morning's service leader. I want to thank today's service team, which includes the musical gifts of our music ministers, Rachel Derry, Cindy Carey, and the UU Zoom Choir, our minister, Reverend Victoria Ingram, religious educator Tim Versteeg, participants in today's service, Katie Keenlyside, and members of the board of directors, and our tech team who make it possible for us to gather online during these extraordinary times, Monica Bennett, John Elliott, and Nancy Wilson. Thank you all for your efforts in today's service. For the flow of the service and everyone's enjoyment, we've all been muted during the service. There's time to chat and catch up in our small groups following today's service. We are not the first people on this land, nor will we be the last. We acknowledge our connection to the web of all existence, honoring the past and preparing for the future. The stewardship of the original people who lived here preserved this place for our generation. We seek to be respectful stewards of this place for those who follow. Our goal in this congregation is to extend our hearts in welcome to whomever you may be, wherever you may be joining us from this morning. We are connected through our desire to live out our ideals of peace, love, and justice for all. We're here to love one another and encourage each other on our spiritual growth. Our congregational mission includes our commitment to nurture one another, serve the community, and inspire action to heal the world. Our call to worship. Welcome as we, in gratitude, give thanks to the founders of First for their vision and courage to dream our beloved community into existence. In gratitude, we give thanks to the members, co-creators of this welcoming, diverse, and vibrant congregation who sustained their dreams over the past 132 years. In gratitude, we give thanks that the spirit of our church is very much alive and thriving despite our closed doors. In gratitude, we give thanks to the creators of the strategic plan, which charts the path to our future at First. And welcome as we, in fervent hope and intention, grow together in spirituality, grow in diversity, grow together in congregational and community engagement, grow together in our community influence and partnerships, and grow our resources so that we may achieve the dreams so boldly, so beautifully articulated in the vision of our future. Welcome. Our chalice represents the light of hope at the center of our faith tradition. The spark of this flame draws us into a time of worship and community. I invite you to recite our Unison chalice lighting words. May this flame be our light of friendship and love.
Good morning. Hymn number 347, Gather the Spirit. And this is a hymn written by prolific UU composer Jim Scott. Gather the Spirit, harvest the power, our separate fires will kindle one flame, witness the mystery of this hour, our trials by this light appear all
As we consider the future of First Unitarian Church of Hamilton this morning, I thought I'd look for a story for all ages and some wisdom from the street. That's Sesame Street. So this morning we are going to read The Monster at the End of This Book, starring Grover. This is a very dull page. What is on the next one? What was that say? On the first page, what did that say? Did that say there will be a monster at the end of this book? It did. Oh, I'm so scared of monsters. Shh. Listen, I have an idea. If you do not turn any pages, we will never get to the end of this book. And that is good because there is a monster at the end of this book. So please, do not turn the page. You turn the page! Maybe you do not understand. You see, turning pages will bring us to the end of this book. And there is a monster at the end of this book. But this will stop you from turning pages. See, I'm tying the pages together so that you cannot. You turn another page! You do not know what you're doing to me. Now stop turning pages. There. I, Grover, am nailing this page to the next one, so you will not be able to turn it, and we will not get any closer to the monster at the end of this book. All right. Do you know that every time you turn another page, you not only get us closer to the monster at the end of this book, but you make a terrible mess. This will stop you from turning pages. A heavy, thick, solid, strong brick wall. I would just like to see you try to turn this page. Did you know that you are very strong? The next page is the end of this book, and there is a monster at the end of this book. Oh, I'm so scared. Please do not turn the page. Please, please, please. Well, look at that. This is the end of this book, and the only one here is me. My lovable furry old Grover am the monster at the end of this book. And you were so scared. I told you and told you there was nothing to be afraid of. Oh, I am so embarrassed. So hopefully all our anxiety and worries about how the future will unfold will be just as unfounded as Grover's. That's the end of our story for all ages.
My Victoria moment. I grew up in an active United Church family. Dad was head of the Sunday school. Mom was church secretary for a long line of ministers. And I recall countless evenings being conscripted to fold church bulletins in time for the Sunday service. I sang in the choir, attended young people's, and taught Sunday school. From the time I was a little girl, church was part of my DNA, and I never questioned my sense of belonging. It was a given. But when I left home to attend university, my studies kept me too busy for church. And by the time I graduated, I'd started to question how aligned I was with United Church teachings. So I stopped going. Many years teaching school also left little energy or inclination to get up Sunday morning for church. Fast forward to 2011. The exact date I first came to First Unitarian is shrouded in the mists of time. But I think it was in the first year of Victoria's ministry here. I came hoping to recapture a spiritual home in which I could again feel aligned with its principles. But I must confess, it was strange to come to church and sit in a pew by myself for the first time in my life. I felt anonymous, solitary, but it wasn't a negative. I was looking to reconnect. Victoria's sermons opened a way for me. After a few months of Sundays, I volunteered to be service leader, and Victoria suggested we meet to plan the Christmas Eve service in 2012 to be called Light and Silence. I did some research and found the beautiful story of how the hymn Silent Night came to be written. When I shared this with Victoria, she asked me to tell this story that Christmas Eve night. Over the years since then, planning with Victoria became a great experience for me. You know, I believe we all want validation in our lives, to know that someone really hears what we're saying. Now, that's not the same as the other agreeing with everything we say, but at least for us to know we've really been heard. We want to know, do you hear me? Do you see me? Does what I say mean anything to you? Victoria gave me that gift, the gift of being heard, being acknowledged, being seen. And then she'd add a bit of icing to that gift by offering something from her experience that provided insight or clarity to an issue we were discussing. And so I come away from all our interactions with my heart opened and my being validated. I've read that sometimes you think you want to disappear, but all you really want is to be found, for someone to see your light, feel your truth, and believe in your magic. Victoria does that so well. Now, even though I still come to church and sit in a pew by myself, I don't feel alone, and I have once again found a spiritual home. Thanks, Victoria.
Thank you, Katie. In these moments of contemplation, I invite you to relax, close your eyes if you like, and breathe deeply. Following our reading, there'll be a few moments of silence, followed by music. This morning's reading is Blessings on Those Staying Home, written by Linda Barnes. We're staying home. Love has never asked this of us before. We're staying home. This is our gift to humanity. Let us wish each other well. For those staying home alone, I offer you this blessing. May you grow a deeper understanding of your own worth. Dear one, leaving the aloneness with gentle care, for this too shall pass. May you be blessed with a peace and serenity. May you find the courage to reach out to hear another's voice and to remember others need you too. May you be well. For those staying home together, I offer you this blessing. May you find moments of patience and grace in your relations. May you offer each other enough time apart, reassurance and space enough to cry, to safely rage, for this too shall pass. Then let peace come again into your home. May you see one another's whole self as a gift. May you be well. For those working from home, I offer you this blessing. May you remember to take breaks. May you find the means to relish your imperfection and the imperfection of others as evidence of our shared humanity. You are enough, even when there isn't enough. Make order in your days, and then let it go. May you be well. For those staying home with children, I offer you this blessing. May you find humor and compassion in your days. There will be learning of a different kind, deeper, no doubt, unexpected for sure. May there be patience and forgiveness again and again and again, for this too shall pass. May you remember all the deep love that brought your family into being. May there be peace and understanding in your home. May you be well. May we be well. May it be so.
Breathe in. still, you'll get through this. Breathe in, breathe out, dig deep, we can do this. Breathe in, breathe out, be still, we'll get through this.
Hi, I'm Barb Wallace, and I'm the president of the congregation this year. I've been a member of the church for many years and served on several different committees, but I'd never been on the board until I was invited to in 2019. It's been a steep learning curve for me, but I have enjoyed it and enjoyed working with all the great people on this committee, and I'd like you to meet them.
Hi, I'm Irene Laurie, and this year I'm on the board as past president. And the reason that I got onto the board was because someone asked me.
Hi, my name is Julie Birchoff, and I'm treasurer for the church. And I'm on the board because a lot of people close to me, as well as myself, benefited greatly from our experiences in the church. And so I felt that connection, and I felt that I wanted to go deeper in my relationship with the church. And so when I was asked to join the board, I decided to do that. Also, I looked around and I saw the leadership at the church, and I wasn't sure if I had the skill sets to be on the board, but I felt that with the people I saw around me, I could definitely learn and grow with them. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Belinda Nimmo, and I'm your board secretary. I joined the board because I wanted to give back to the church in some way, and I felt that that was something that I could do. I'm also going to be part of the Strategic Action Task Force, which is something the board is putting together right now, and we need members. So if you would like to give back to the church also, why not contact me? My information will be available in the Wednesday ACE, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Charlie Pond, and I'm a member of the board. I joined the board to be part of the transition from one minister to another, and also because I really wanted to be part of giving Victoria the best send-off ever.
Good day, everyone. I'm Leslie McAnatama, member at large on the board. I joined the board as a way of actively participating in the church community. Its activities are all very new to me still, yet I'm finding I'm enjoying its strategic focus.
Good morning. My name is Mary Solig, and I am the Vice President of your board, and I'm also the board rep on the Interim Minister Hiring Task Force. I have to admit that when I was asked to be on the church board, I was reluctant to take on the role because I was new to the church and new to Unitarian Universalism, and I really wasn't sure what I had to offer. But what I had observed during the time that we were able to gather in person pre-COVID was that this was a congregation that I wanted to be part of. So I said yes. As a board, we recognize that face-to-face conversation is the best way to exchange ideas and concerns, and COVID has made this difficult. But we want you to know that we are here, we're available by email or by phone. Our contact information is in the directory on the church website, or you can reach all of us using the board email, which is board.uuhamilton@gmail.com. And we look forward to hearing from you. Thanks.
Good morning. You've just had a chance to meet this year's board members, and those amazing women, along with many other people who have served in leadership in this congregation, are such an important part of what makes this an amazing community. We're going to talk today about a future at First, and I'm delighted to get to share some information with you. So let's imagine that it's time to take a trip, a journey to a place that you've never been before. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, a dream adventure that you're excited about, you're committed to, and you're ready to take it on. It's an important trip and you're looking forward to it, but since you've never been there before, you're also a bit concerned about how it's all going to go. So you start planning ahead of time. You research your options. You think about what you need and what you want to take along. You think about who you want to travel with and how you're going to make decisions and communicate with each other and take care of things as you move forward on this path. You find out about things that you might like to do along the way and people that you want to visit or get to know. You put a lot of thought into your budget, not only for the essentials, but for contingencies too. The day of departure gets closer. You have a pretty good idea of what you want to happen on this trip, and you start to think about how you're going to get to your destination. Now, you know you can't take all the routes to your favorite destination all at the same time, and nor can you take all of the various modes of transportation that will get you there. So you've got to make some decisions and you've got to choose your priorities. You and your companions have to agree on how you're going to get there and make this dream trip a reality. After all, it's one kind of adventure to just head out and see where you end up. It's another type of journey to have a destination in mind and to aim yourself in the right direction to end up where you want to be. Both have their pluses and minuses, but having a plan helps us get closer to our desired outcome and destination. It's time to consult a map, to look at our alternatives and choose a route that gets us as close as possible to where it is we think we want to go, in the best way we can reach it, in ways that allow us to do and see things along the way that are important, but also gives us some flexibility, just in case we find that reality or our priorities change along the way. Sound familiar? Well, what's true for a road trip is also true for moving forward in business, in communities, in families, in life, and in churches. We have a better chance of getting where we want to go if we have a map, a plan, a guide to help us get there. Imagine traveling in unfamiliar territory without having that guide or map or GPS. Even if you have a clear idea what direction you think you're going, it's easy to get mixed up, confused by one-way streets or construction detours, and then you can find yourself nowhere near where you hope to go. And that leads us to a journey that this congregation will be starting and is a part of as we move toward the future with new ministerial leadership in a context that includes new realities, things like viruses and changing demographics. You know, we've done a lot of work together to get to the point where we've defined our purpose, our mission as a congregation. We know we're here to nurture one another, to serve the community, and to inspire action to heal the world. We have said that we want to create a welcoming, diverse, multi-generational, and vibrant faith community. We want to be known and respected in the larger community as a voice for progressive faith, and we are committed to social justice, sustainability, and equity. So, how are we going to make those yearnings into something real? How are we going to reach that longed for destination? The map we are going to use is our new strategic plan. The work of the task force which developed the plan, in consultation with all of you in the congregation, identifies important issues and challenges that are facing the church and presents specific recommendations and options for implementation that will support the long-term health and viability and growth of First Unitarian Hamilton. We've begun taking steps on that journey over the last couple of years. We've had an idea of where we're going. Now we have a map. We've started by as a congregation working together to prepare people for leadership and participation in the work of the church. You heard our new board members talk about the excitement they feel about coming onto the board and being able to offer their insight and learn as they go along. We've begun to examine and consider our purpose and participation in the world through an anti-oppressive lens. We've started conversations about addressing white supremacy, and we've started to learn about the experience and history of Indigenous, Black, and people of color here in Canada, in our community, in our own faith community, and the world around us. We have reached out to build relationships with other organizations and people who share our hopes for the future. The strategic plan outlines a guide for becoming more and more of what we yearn to be as a faith community. We're traveling together to the future. It's going to help us take our dreams and make them possible by outlining the steps we need to take to get to our desired destination. With a purpose, the why of what it is we want to do, and a plan, the how of what we're going to approach that, the way to the future becomes clearer. The plan maps out our opportunities and our goals for 2021 through 26. 5 years of building on the good work and the good intentions and the good faith of this community toward a robust and relevant and rewarding future. This is what you will find when you go on the church website and you look for the strategic plan. I'll put it up there so you can see what it looks like. There's a lot of good information there, and I really encourage you to go and have a look at it. Take the time to read that plan. It's about your church, your faith community, and how everyone is needed to take the steps to get to the desired future. It's good for everyone to have read and understand the map as we get ready to take the first steps on this next part of our journey. When you read the plan, you're going to find that overall, it focuses on growth in 5 areas that were identified in conversations with the congregation over the last couple of years. Growth can be interpreted in many ways, from increasing in numbers to increasing in understanding or participation or depth. All of these kinds of growth are important in congregational life. So the 5 identified areas are: 1, growing spiritually. To deepen our relationships with ourselves, with each other, with society, and with the natural world. To explore what gives life meaning. Number 2 is about growing in diversity. To explore ways to better understand our inherent biases and privileges, to ensure our faith community is fully accessible to and welcoming of everyone. Number 3, growing in engagement. To expand our ways of participating in the life of the church through our programs, through worship, social justice, and being together. Number 4 is about growing in influence. To build on our commitments to social justice and expand our networks in the larger community through outreach and participation and public witness. And number 5 is growing in resources. To plan for the very best use of our resources, financial, material, human, that will help us realize our vision. Each of these focus areas in the strategic plan includes recommended strategies and approaches to address how to grow effectively as a congregation. The plan identifies specific actions that can be implemented in religious exploration, in worship, in programming, in the use and care for our buildings and grounds, in our governance and oversight, and in our operations. You'll be hearing more about the strategic plan and how it's going to be used to shape the work of the church as we go forward in the next few weeks and months. So it would really be great if you went online and had a read for it so you know what you're listening to and hearing about. Along with having a plan, just like using a map, You have to review where you are occasionally and make sure you're on track, on the right route. A process for assessment and evaluation will also be in place to track our church's progress on meeting our goals along the way. There will be ways to celebrate milestones and achievements, as well as consultations and resetting events when we find we might be a bit off track, or there are new priorities or new things on the horizon that we need to address and didn't anticipate now or a few years later. There will also be a need to monitor the trends and concerns of the larger world, to identify times when we might need to rethink our priorities or rejigger things for emerging needs that come before the congregation. Going on a journey, taking a trip to a new place is always exciting. The anticipation of what you might get to see and experience, the chance to encounter new people, new thinking, new opportunities, working together to create a desired outcome. That's pretty thrilling stuff. And I also know that it can be a bit concerning as well. Questions about what happens if can loom large in front of us, especially in an environment where so much is changing around us. It's good to have friends around when we're in times of uncertainty. It's wonderful to have beloved travel companions to share the load, to work with when we need to address a dilemma, to share the joy when things go well. Our faith community works together to plan, act, assess, recalibrate, and move forward. And that makes all the difference in the world for us, for the community we serve, and for the choices we make that we hope will help heal the world. So take the time to read the strategic plan. There you'll find the hopes and dreams of this community of faith. You'll find great ideas and plans for moving together into the future of Unitarian Universalism in Hamilton and in Canada. You'll find inspiration and the steps to turn our hopes and dreams into realities. You'll see ways in which you can participate and become a co-creator of the future. I wish you a wonderful trip. Bon voyage!
Number 1064, Blue Boat Home. This is an old hymn that has been reimagined with new words by Peter Mayer and the piano accompaniment by UU Minister of Music, Jason Shelton.
Still my
mouthful. Our benediction is from Lifting Our Voices, Readings in the Living Tradition, number 107, by Maureen Killoran. As we weather winds of change, may we have wisdom to cherish moments of stillness. As we recollect times of challenge and of pain, may we remember also the graceful blessings of our lives. As we look to future unknowns, may we have the boldness to trust that there is unimagined good yet to come.